Hi everyone, it's your Miss Oklahoma Collegiate St. Thomas, and because we are about 40 days out from arriving in Little Rock, I thought that I would give you a fun throwback in time to all of the evening gowns that I have ever worn in pageantry. To do this, I will be viewing them on my laptop, but I will also be giving you little clips of those gowns. I just thought this would be really fun because one of the things I'm most excited for with my wardrobe is my gown. It is a beautiful dress, a color I've never worn before, so that's super exciting. Obviously, you gotta wait until Nationals to see it, but I'm gonna drop some pictures during this. We're gonna talk about it a little bit, and then if you want to see more stuff from pageantry with me, especially on the road to Miss Collegiate America, you can follow me here on my main page at Seton Thomas, and you can also follow me on the Miss Oklahoma Collegiate page, which is right. Let's get into it. Here is my first ever pageant dress. This one is a royal blue Sherry Hill ball gown, and the backstory of the dress is actually really sweet. My middle sister paid for this dress so that I could wear it for my high school's local little scholarship pageant, which really kick-started my love for pageantry. Sorry, Blue thinks that she has to be involved in everything. But this was my first pageant gown, and everybody, hi. Hi. Are you Miss Dog America? My second gown ever was also a Sherry Hill ball gown. I loved this teal color. It was so fun. I remember when I went to go get this dress, it was the first time I had ever tried on couture gowns. This isn't a couture gown, but it had kind of that crossover beading, and this was kind of the time when crossover was starting to like become a thing. So this was really fun, and I actually got to pair it with some Sherry Hill earrings down. I don't know why, but I always forget that I wore this, and it's not because it's not gorgeous, because it is. But this is a red, completely tulle MacDougall ball gown, and I'm surprised that this dress isn't super memorable for me. I've just worn so many gowns too, but a fun story about this dress in particular is whenever I wore this, I was doing my first national pageant as an Oklahoma teen. And I remember I had lost a little bit of weight, so the hem wasn't like correct when I got there, but this was kind of like our first big extravagant pageant. So, you know, obviously like we didn't really know anything. Well, the lady that had the pop-up shop here was so kind. I stood in her shop with this dress on before the preliminary competition, and for like an hour, she took a pair of scissors and cut all of this fabric off and then pinned the front of it so that I would be able to walk in this gown. And I just remember just being so grateful that she was so kind and was willing to do that for me, because we weren't even able to purchase anything from her. She just did that out of the kindness of her heart. So that really is an experience that I won't ever forget again. The dress that I wore in the first pageant that I ever won, let me tell you, this is like my top 5 that I've ever owned. And I'm just going over competition gowns that I've worn. This isn't even counting all the other dresses that I have worn, because trust me, there's too many. But this, I believe, was a Maury Lee mermaid fit gown. I won my first pageant in this, and I actually won my second pageant in this as well. I wanted to show you my first dress I ever wore to Miss Oklahoma, but I just do not have any pictures. I don't know. I probably do from like a different pageant. It might be further up, so just stay tuned for that. My favorites. And whenever these came out, they were so popular, but I actually owned, I'm pretty sure I owned the very first royal blue one to be released. Letting it go was so hard. This gown was gorgeous. I remember when I went to Miss Oklahoma that year, I had a lot of people, they were like, why didn't you wear that? Why didn't you wear that? And I'm like, man, I wish I would have worn that, because it just had everything. And then they became so popular, and then in so many colors. I mean, you could have gotten this gown in any color, in any designer. So this gown was truly like a trendsetter. My state gown that I wore to Royal International Miss the first time that I competed at Rim, Oklahoma. I won the role model title in this gown. This gown was a very last minute purchase. Okay, so what happened was, this was before we started hoarding dresses. And let me tell you, I thought that we had a lot back then. Now I have like tubs and tubs of gowns, and like you can see all these bags back here. That's all pageant stuff. Why? We have something for anything that could possibly happen. Okay, we are prepared. So the week of this pageant, we were like, oh my goodness, like we have to go get a dress. So we went and bought this dress, and it worked, and the color was gorgeous. It was too big on me, but I won a state title in it, so I think it worked out just fine. And I'm actually selling this one, so if you really like it, let me know. It is probably the most iconic gown I have ever worn, and I am still holding on to her. I can't let her go. Okay, I can't let her go. I'm in love with her. She's just everything. So I'm Native American. I'm Cherokee. And I wanted to I always try to incorporate that into my wardrobe, something that has to do with my culture in some way, form, or fashion. Sometimes it can be difficult to find like safe spaces to do that, to where it's not overdone, but that it's like sprinkled in there, because I love my culture and I'm proud of my culture, and I want to be able to express that, especially through colors and fashion, because we have just the greatest patterns and artistic people that create just these beautiful beadwork, all the things. But so this is a Giovanni Couture, and it retails for $8,800. It's just gorgeous. It's everything. I mean, I think I'd wear this anywhere. Bury me in this, honestly. I'm not ready to let her go yet. I've posted her a couple times for sale, but I end up taking it down every time, because I'm just not ready to let it go. So this gown is just beautiful. This is probably my favorite gown that I've ever worn. I just love it. I love everything about it. And I think the styling was a big part too. When it comes to the shoes, I know that the shoes are much lighter. I had a light spray tan. I get really tan in the summer anyways, because I'm Native. But in order to get rid of all the tan lines, you got to get sprayed. But my shoes, we ordered them in the winter. Big mistake. Order whatever color you're going to maybe have a spray tan, or if you lay out, order your summer shade in your shoes. Don't do what we did. We had been in the game for a long time at this point. I'm not quite sure where we went wrong on this. I just don't think that we were thinking. But yeah, this dress is incredible. This gown. Whew. This gown is also a Giovanni. Giovanni Couture retails for $6,400. So $6,400. These last two dresses have both had customized earrings. I don't remember who customized the first ones, but I know for sure who did these. This is from Ashley at The Crown Jewel. Shout out to Ashley. She's an absolute doll, and I have just been crazy about her ever since I met her. She's fantastic. This dress was just so eye-catching. I remember when we tried it on, we were like, can I wear like a drop waist ball gown? Is that okay? And I feel like if you are a Miss and you want to do something like that, a pageant like Royal International Miss is like a place to do it and be able to like maybe get away with the color or the fabrics, but you still have to be careful when you're a Miss contestant at any pageant on when you wear ball gowns. You got to do it right. You have to do it right because you don't want to age yourself down. This dress is just gorgeous. I still have this dress too. I'm not selling this one anytime soon. I'm in love with this gown. This gown is just, it's so fabulous. And the way it shimmers on stage is so gorgeous. I love this dress. Love it, love it. This gown actually comes, I saw someone that had it in like a fiery orange color. And I do believe I've seen it in one other color, and I can't think of it, but, excuse me, I've never seen it in anyone else have the light blue. Oh, if we sat here and went over every dress I've ever worn, we would be here all day long. This would be an even longer video, and it's still a really long video. So, this dress is funny. So, I am a big sustainable fashion girly. My platform for the last couple years has been centered around some type of sustainable something. This year with Collegiate, obviously things have to be tied to Brave, building respect and values for everyone. So I was able kind of to take my cultural aspect that's involved in the sustainability piece and weave that into something that would represent Brave better than what I was doing. But I try to wear as much sustainable pieces as possible. So I'll actually wear a lot of stuff during pageant week that's resale. And then last year, I actually started taking old dresses that I either bought at like a Goodwill or a Salvation Army or my sister's old prom dresses because I'm the youngest of 3 girls. And I would tear them apart and then create something new out of them. So I have a couple pieces that I've actually created, which I am just waiting for the right time to wear them. But this dress was borrowed. So I was like, I'm going all in on this sustainability thing. We're not buying a dress. I'm going to figure out how to borrow a dress. So I was actually able to, because I worked this one off, okay? I did. I'm an employee at Violet's, and I worked this gown off, okay? I worked for this. I got to use this gown. This is a Sherry Hill, and it had extra beads, added extra stones, not beading. Stones and beads are different. And extra stones put on it by another girl who had gotten to wear it. So that's fun. This dress has great luck because she won the pageant that she used it for. And then I wore it to state, worked it off and wore it to state. And I won the Oklahoma title in this gown. And I love this gown. It was the first time I'd ever used a side cape. I really love red. Fun fact, the majority of stuff that I have won in red. So don't ask me why I don't keep just getting red gowns. I think that you work hard for your win. I don't think it depends on your gown color, which it can matter, but it's not the end all be all. So I'm not like conspiracy girl when it comes to that. But there's some people that they don't change stuff, and that's okay because guess what? That works for them, and it is not my place to tell somebody that something isn't working for them. So that gown was just gorgeous. I loved it. This is the last competition gown that I wore. And I can't wait to show you guys my one for nationals. So